It's session 13, and once again, another hopefully explosive lesson. Not quite sure what you're all doing here, still on episode 13. You guys should be millionaires by now following this process I've sent you. So I don't know if that's a good thing, that you think, great, Scott's so amazing that I have to stay tuned to this, or it's not working, so I have to keep staying on and on and on before the good stuff gets learned. Well, hopefully I'm going to have a bit more good stuff today. But first, I'm going to quickly share with you just a little bit of update from last time. And then I'm going to start taking you guys directly through the notion of really getting into the sales process. But I'm going to start breaking it down as to why and how you can actually sell pleasantly. So the sales process should be a pleasant process as much as possible. It can't be pleasant all the way, but most of the way. And therefore, it's great if you can learn to sell and learn to be able to have great conversations with people and not need to mention your product or service. It sounds completely crazy, but it's actually not as you start to get under the skin of it. And that's what I'm really going to be talking to you guys about today. So let's just quickly begin. And before I do, actually, let me just quickly show you where I am and a quick little update from last time. Now, as I showed you last time, I was targeting partners, and we talked a lot about how to use the process to get partners, the same concept. And in fact, what I've done since then is I've actually created some content, which I want to show you. So if you go to the madge3.com website under resources and agencies and affiliates, you'll see how last week's session has come to life in terms of content. So we've created 3 pieces of content, one specifically targeting VAs, one's targeting online people who are looking to sell online training, and a third one for event marketers. Now, I'm going to get into the sales process later. This is just a quick intro before I get there and just an update from last week. But I wanted to show this to you guys. I'm just going to quickly show you what the end result looks like. So this is taking your content, putting it online, and here it is. So virtual assistants wanted. We need an army of virtual assistants to sell courses and events on LinkedIn. This has been done on our website, so it doesn't look quite as pretty as some of the other ones that we've done. Here's an example of one that's designed a bit prettier. Property people don't trust IT people. As a result, the customer is seething. This is a client that's just gone live now. This is a strategy. It's quite interesting because he's trying to merge IT and property together. And property people don't trust IT people, especially in the UK. It's a UK client. So this is the goal. He's trying to reach out with a particular pain point. So his captivating one-liner is property people don't trust IT people. As a result, the customer is seething. So that's what we did for him. But it doesn't have to be all this prettily designed. So we've created one specifically for virtual assistants. We need an army of VAs to sell courses. I've done that little video as well. So you guys wanted that last time. You guys can watch the video and a couple of steps. Okay. I've also done one reaching out to online training, people who want to sell online training and online education. So this is the army of VAs that we created, right? So we're out there. I'm out there looking for VAs and anyone who wants to spend 1 to 3 hours a week dedicating their LinkedIn profile to helping sell following instructions as per the app, which is going to be highly simplified and will require very little training. So it's the chicken and egg scenario. And I'm going to talk about the chicken and egg later, but just to update you guys. So you can see what we've done here. I've created another one called Your Online Training Offers Tremendous Value. So why are you struggling to sell it? So I'm going to use this piece of content to go out, right? Really nicely designed to go out, and we're going to use the app in the process. And my team is going to use the app in the process to reach out specifically to online training companies so that they can potentially use this army we've created, and our army can earn money, and it can be a whole new way of marketing. So it's completely new and innovative. So I wanted to show you guys as to where we are. So I've used this little VAs wanted as a landing page to use the app to reach out to people. Now, I've invited them, and I went through this last week, so I'm not going to go into too much detail again, but I did the invitations. I've done about 150, 160 invitations now. I've moved them down to new acceptances, right? I've now renamed them to make it a little bit clearer. I've created my VA connections, my virtual assistant connections. These are the VAs who've accepted my LinkedIn invitation, right? I've then created one called Limbo. These guys are still making decisions. They haven't made a decision yet, whether they're on or not. Look at the tags I'm using. I'm tagging everything as I go along. And look how many people I've got now that are ready to join my army. These are people that have clicked on the video, they're following me, they've responded, they're chatting with me, they're speaking to me, and they're genuinely interested. And in fact, there's a few more than that. So it's really starting to go well. I'm spending nothing more than a few hours on this, guys. It's really easy, and it's just me. Imagine I had 2, 3, or 4, or 5, or an army of other people going out and doing this for me. Can you imagine what's going to happen? Now, once you've got people who are ready to join, now remember, guys, a lot of them want to meet me up front with one-on-one meetings. I'm not meeting with them one-on-one. I am asking them to first watch this video, check out this page, and decide if it's something they want to do. Then we'll create a meeting. But once again, I'm not meeting with them one-on-one. I'm meeting with them as a group. So I've set up certain times of the day where they can book appointments as a group, and I'm going to have a group meeting and talk to them together. This is something you might want to look at when you're building your partnerships using this process. Do you want to create almost like a group meeting where you can get a whole bunch of people to chat to them as a group? It's always a great way to do it. But if you've got a big ticket item, the one-on-one process might be better. So you can use that way or a combination. Now, just incidentally, when I invited them to a meeting, I could very easily drive them to an automated landing page that would automatically just drive people and say, sign up for my webinar, join the group meeting, whatever it is, and automate the process. To begin with, I'm not doing it. I've literally gone onto my Outlook, right? I've gone onto my Outlook and I've created a manual Outlook message and invited those people who are interested to attend because I want to do it manually first to see how well it works. If I got a job as tomorrow as a sales director of a company, the first thing I would do is I would go and close a couple of deals myself, not necessarily directly and immediately. I wouldn't only do that. I would get involved in sales director duties, but I would make sure I'm part of the sales process, because if you can't do it yourself, then you're going to be in trouble. So I'm doing it myself first, and I'm building this so it's very easy to duplicate down the line. Okay. And it's going really, really well. I mean, you can already see the difference. From last time, what a difference it is. So I wanted to quickly update that and to show you that the principle that we're working on is the same. You create a really nicely designed article, right? And then you use it as a captivating one-liner, and you use it to reach out to people on LinkedIn, check to see who's clicked, and follow the sales pipeline process. All right. So now what we're going to go through today is I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the chicken and the egg and this notion about selling. And I'm going to stop quickly because I need to get something across. There are 2 types of sale which have to be used concurrently: a soft emotional sell and a rational sell. The rational sell is how much does it cost? What are the deliverables? Show me it on a piece of paper, show it to me on a spreadsheet. What can you do? What do I sign off, et cetera, right? That's the rational sell. The emotional sell is them getting to know you and believe in you so that you can, right, elevate yourself and your credibility in their eyes so that they become your best evangelists, if that makes sense. Now, as weird as it sounds, what you want to try and do is you want to try and do everything in your power to make an emotional connection with somebody and talk about their pain. It's an emotional sell. So you see what we're doing here. When you have a phone call or when you're on LinkedIn direct messaging, as I've taught you, you don't talk about your product or service. If you get on the phone and you phone them or you book a call, you don't talk about your product or service for as late as possible, right? It's an emotional sell. The rational sell happens offline, online in terms of your website, but it happens off direct messenger, and it doesn't happen necessarily on a one-on-one meeting. So it's a comfortable, enjoyable process. Your meetings are just having a nice chat talking about them. You don't do a PowerPoint presentation. You don't do any of that. You talk about them. You talk about the issues. You have a nice little chit chat. What happens then is they're going to ask for more information, or they'll go offline and they will look for ways to do business with you. They will look at your proposals, not your proposal that you sent to them, but they'll look at your online proposal style material. They'll look at any case studies that you've got. They'll go to your website. They'll look at your LinkedIn profile. They'll check out any pricing information you have. All right. They'll just check that you are who you say you are and just get some specifics in their mind as to what you do. Your goal is to build the emotional sell The job of your collateral is to do the rational sale. And when the twain comes together, they'll ask you for a meeting to specifically talk about how you can do business together. All right, that's what you want, or they're going to want prices, etc. And that's when it almost becomes a formality to do the deal. And one of the things I'm going to be talking about down the line as well is this notion that is how to do meetings. Tomorrow, I'm doing a presentation specifically on this for software companies. And next month, I'm also going to do one specifically to this for companies around how to use this notion of emotional rational, all right, comes together, and then the chicken and the egg as well. Okay, and I'm going to talk about the chicken and the egg now. But you see what's happening, guys? Your goal is to have a nice chit chat with someone and get to know them and their pain. That's all. Do not try and sell yourself. You don't need to. All you need to do is know that they're going to jump across to your LinkedIn profile. If you want to, after the meeting, send them a little video for them to check out, I send them my ebook, whatever, that's fine. But your direct messenger on LinkedIn, your emails that you send out, your one-on-one conversations that you have are all just getting to know the person and their pain. If they ask you what you do, give them a 30-second answer and redirect it back to them. It's an extraordinarily comfortable, beautiful, relaxing process, right? And then you make sure you have your collateral that's quick and easy for them to understand. Okay, now look at what you're trying to sell here. Your product and service, and I see this over and over and over and over again. Your product and service is a classic case of chicken and egg, except the chicken comes first. So I wrote this article for software companies, but the principle applies. And once again, I'm going to be doing this specifically for software companies tomorrow. So if you guys are a software company or you want a recording or you know anyone who's selling software, I'm going to specifically talk about this tomorrow. All right. But basically, it goes along this line. The chicken and the egg. The egg comes first. You believe, okay, that your product or service is like a baby chicken. It's so cute and so pretty and so like, oh, I love my little chicken and look at it. And you want to sell this baby chicken. And you take this baby chicken and it's all cute and feathers are fluffy and you're in love with it. Just like a little puppy we got. Our little puppy is the cutest little thing, right? And everybody looks at it and strokes it and goes, there, it's not their puppy. It's not their chicken. They don't want it. People do not want to buy software. In fact, the chances of them wanting to buy your product are almost zero. Nobody wants to buy from you, all right? And they sure as hell don't want to buy a complicated chicken. They want to buy something that's simple and easy to understand. So what you need to do, guys, is you need to condense your product or service into something that's really simple and easy to digest and understand. An egg. Everyone knows what an egg is. It's easy. It doesn't require much maintenance. You don't have to feed it every day like you do a chicken. Nobody wants the accountability of a complicated process. You have to make your entry point ridiculously simple. One of the best ways to do that is to start by offering a box, a package, a simple approach that the other the prospect will potentially pay for, maybe not necessarily, will potentially pay for, that's easy for them to digest. It's like a foot in the door. And depending on what product or service you have, that's often a workshop or it's some kind of strategy understanding. It's some kind of sitting with the client goes, I need to do an hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 5 hour analysis with you. If you sell insurance, that's always the way it works. A doctor's office always works like that. A doctor sells you a 20-minute, 15-minute consultation, charges you a bunch of money, unless of course you were the NHS in the UK, in which case you'll wait in line for 3 hours, then you see a doctor, then you get it for free. But the principle is the same. You sit with a doctor, right? And a doctor gives you 15, 20 minutes to diagnose a problem. That's what you want to become. And it's a box, right? It's easy. You know what you're in for. Yes, there's going to be drugs and stuff that you have to buy. There could be additional services. But if you can offer your service as a very clearly defined package once off, you don't necessarily have to sell the add-ons. How many people are in this group who are selling online training or online services or online coaching or insurance or anything else that involves some kind of service, right? That you're looking to implement over a long period of time. Maybe it's a construction project. Maybe it's a building project. It could be anything that you guys are doing, but it's probably a relatively long-term project, right? before they sign up to the long-term project, which is a chicken. You love your long-term project. You want to get these guys into a long-term project. I get it. People don't want to buy a long-term project. They don't want a chicken. They want an egg. So you've got to ask yourself, have I condensed my product and service into a simply easy to find one pager that says, this is what you do, this is how you start, this is what it costs, and off you go. You sign up to this, this is what you get, and this is going to be a starting point. If you've done that, then your goal is to sell that workshop, whatever it happens to be, that egg, easy to digest for the customer to go. Now, remember going back to what I said before. When you're chatting with somebody, don't give them the egg up front. Don't tell them you've got an egg. Have a conversation with them. Just have a natural chat. Talk about their problem. You know in the back of your mind that your egg is the perfect solution for them right now. The chicken they don't want to buy. And I know you think they do, but they almost certainly don't. But in the back of your mind, you've got a really nice solution for them. But you don't hand it to them right there and then necessarily. Probably not. Maybe right at the end, but usually not. You get to know them. You have a conversation. Then they're going to ask you and say, what do you do? Blah, 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 blah. And you say, listen, I'm just going to send you a bit of publication. It's very quick. This is what I do. I'll send it through to you. One pager, maybe one pager. There is your egg nestled in a nutshell, boxed, easy to understand. I also recommend putting it on your website. So instead of emailing it to them, point it to your website, potentially, however you decide to do it. Maybe put it on your LinkedIn profile. The point is, guys, sell the egg first, right? And your emotional sell is getting to know them, right? You chat with them. They're going to look for a reason to do business with you. They're going to find the egg, right? And then you can close the deal and get that egg signed, sealed, and delivered. If it's an hour, 3 hour, full day workshop, whatever it happens to be, what happens during that workshop? What happens during that consulting session? You get to know them. You get to talk to them. They get to know, like, and trust you. They get to form a bond with you. They reveal information they wouldn't normally reveal. There's a trusted relationship. And that's what business is about. And what happens is that egg, right, that you've sold them starts to get little cracks in it. And we all know what's coming, don't we? They can take the egg, use it, don't use it. They've got some information that they can use, great. But as the cracks start appearing and the chicken starts unfolding, right, and hatching, this cute little eyes start to come out and they take ownership of the project because they've now birthed it with you. And that's what you want. It's a joint co-creative process. See the difference? It's very, very difficult to go out and sell something, right, that immediately gets somebody to buy into a long-term agreement or a project, even if you promise that it's only a monthly contract or whatever. The commitment is too great. They're committing to a chicken and they don't want to commit to a chicken. Get them to buy into the egg. Make money from the egg yourself. Doesn't have to be a lot of money. Just like the doctor's consultation. Doesn't have to make a lot of money. And that's how you go through the process. Do you see the difference, guys? Do you see the process? But the beauty of it is the egg gets sold so quickly and you don't need to sell it in a one-on-one meeting because the egg one pager is purely rational and simple. It sits offline. Your job as an emotional salesperson is just to have a conversation with someone. That's all you got to do is get to know them. They will look for a reason to do business with you, guys. And if it's a couple of £100 or a few $100 or the workshop is really affordable to them and they're going to get value, and maybe you've got the guts to say, if you don't get value out of it, I won't charge you for it. You can play around with that model. But the most important thing is you've got to sell this egg and let the chicken hatch. And you do it with an emotional sell. Now, going back to everything I've taught you so far, what have we not done at any stage of the process? What are we not doing with our captivating one-liner approach? What are we not doing with our LinkedIn messages? What are we not doing with the LinkedIn voice messages, which I'm going to be doing a whole episode on next time. Next week is LinkedIn voice messages, guys. So you see what you're doing. You've got to sell that egg. Now, when you're just chatting with people, getting to know them without any desperation, whether it's direct messenger or on the phone or on Zoom or in person or even on email, You're dropping them that egg, and they're going to look for a reason to do business with you. It's a no-brainer for a couple of $100, guys, or a couple of $100 for them. If they're going to get value and they like you, they will invest that money in you. As long as they know there's a box that they can buy. It's an egg that's simple. If that egg hatches into something else, that's it. Because why? You are the real reason your client is going to buy. And every time I've showed you so far, everything we've discussed, what have you not done? You've not sold your product or service. You've not hard sold. All the rational information for them to make a decision is on your website or on your LinkedIn profile, even if it's just one little pager. I hope this is making sense, guys, because this is where it starts to become to the clincher. All those LinkedIn messages you're sending out, you're just getting to know people. And I've tried my best to get you guys to just pick up the phone and phone them, even if they're not ready. You think they're not ready for a phone call yet, because they will have that conversation with you, right? They will, if you just pick up the phone and go, hi, Simon, we've been connecting on LinkedIn. We chatted on LinkedIn a little bit. You know, I just believe in the real human touch, and I'm tired of online stuff. I just thought, let me give you a call and let's have a human to human conversation. The output of that conversation, guys, is going to be one of two things. One, they're going to say, I can't talk now, man. Please, can we reschedule this? No problem. Let's put it in your diary now. You've just got your appointment. You've done it. You're going to get the appointment anyway. And now it's done on your terms when you both want it. The other option is they're going to say, sure, let's have a quick chat now. And there you go. And all your goal is to have a chat with them about their issues. By the time that chat's finished, yeah, this Dawn character, this Andrea character, this William character kind of knows their stuff. I like them. Yeah, I'd like to see a bit more. You then guide them to the egg. That's all you got to do, guys. And you guide them to the egg. And that's the process that we're doing right now. We're just guiding them to the egg. Your LinkedIn messages, behind the scenes, everything. You're not actively selling to them, but you're guiding them. You're showing that you are a credible individual and showing them that you are the real reason your client is going to buy. All right. I talk about chicken getting eaten. If you are scared and you're not prepared to be bold and make opinionated statements, professional insight messages that I showed you before, if you're not prepared to be an expert in that specific thing that you do, you're going to get eaten. And I've been through that before. I'm not going to go through that again, guys. You've got to be able to be prepared to really be bold and be an expert in what you do. Be as humble as pie around everything else. But your area of expertise, you are shit hot and you are the expert. That is your territory. Okay. All right, guys. So I think this is starting to make sense. I'm going to start to just finish off now. But I'm going to reiterate this process. And I'm going to take a few questions and answers, and let's see how we go with that. Okay. So the emotional sell and the rational sell. Don't try to rational sell during a one-on-one conversation unless it is absolutely clear that the purpose of that conversation is for you to present specifics and details. All right. No matter how detailed the other person is, there's different personality types. And one of these days I'll get an expert to come and talk specifically about personality types and how you can communicate with them. But it doesn't matter what personality type they are. They will talk about their pain. If they're a detailed, specific personality type, don't give them details and information yet. Ask them for specific details about their problem. Go into detail. They will give you, if they're a detailed person, they will give you details about their problem and their pain. So you flick it back on them. You see what you're doing. But guys, the conversation has got to be about them. That's the emotional sell. And guys, what a beautiful, beautiful place to be from a sales perspective. Could you imagine anything more wonderful than just having wonderful chats to people about the pain that you know you can solve? And when you know in the back of your mind, you've got a one-page simple egg that can get your foot in the door. That's what you want to do. This concept of throwing eggs at people, all right, just means the eggs are going to break all over them and they're not going to like having egg all over their face. That's what hard selling does. You throw your egg. I can do this, and I've got this product. No, it's a gentle, soft approach. Nurture your egg. Look after it. Gently introduce people to it. And then it becomes that co-created process. Do you see what we're doing, guys? You've got the emotional, right? The connection and the rational. Separate them. Let the emotional be the communication and the rational be done offline until the two will come together And that's when you will do your sale. And we can talk about the close another time. The egg needs to be something specific. And I don't know what it is in your business, but you've got to figure that out for yourself, or work with me and we can come up with a proposal around that. But it's probably going to be some kind of workshop, strategy session, needs analysis. That's what you want. They invest their time, you invest your time, and you can possibly make money out of it as well. That's what you're looking to do. Then think about the chicken and the egg. What is the egg? What is that simple one-pager box that we can do, right? Easy for them to sign up, easy for them to make a plan. Easy for them just go, right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to commit to you, Dawn. I'm going to commit to you, Jason, whoever it's going to be. That's what you're looking at doing. So now we're starting to hopefully put this whole project together, and you can see it starting to come alive within the technology and the sales pipeline that we've been showing for you guys, right? So when you guys start to do it, you see I'm already getting guys coming in here. Let's rock and roll, man. I'm enjoying the video clips. He joined me today. So you see what's going on here, guys. This is my sales pipeline, right? You can see it. I'm doing exactly what I preach to you guys. This particular sales pipeline is around me generating, building my channel marketing. I'm looking for resellers, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a slightly different approach to me selling directly, but I still use the same concept. The approach is a little bit different, but the idea is the same. Use the app to track it. Guys, I've done 150 LinkedIn invitations so far, and already I've probably got about 15 or so people that are ready to join me and jump through hoops. They've watched at least one video, read my article, gone through different pages, and put this whole thing together and really followed. They're really keen. I've never met with them. I've taken them through a process. Most importantly, I've given them an egg. What is the egg? I haven't asked them the chicken. The chicken is all the details and complexities of the app. I'm not going to go to them and say, I've got this really cool app, install it and use it. I can't do this. It's too complicated. They don't care about my chicken. So I go in with the egg and I say, I've got some opportunities for you. Let's talk. That's it. What is that opportunity? We'll let you know when an opportunity comes in. I'll let you know, and we'll give you 15 minutes of training, and I need 1 to 3 hours of your time a week. How you will be paid will be dependent on each particular opportunity. You will need to learn a little bit of software, but it's all pre-programmed for you. It gets dropped, and we'll chat about that later. I haven't sold my software. All I've done is I've given them an opportunity, and I've made it as simple as possible, which it is. Am I making sense, guys? If I repeat myself anymore, I think you guys are going to get annoyed. And I've tried to come at you from different angles, but it's so incredibly exciting. And I want you guys to finish by asking yourselves a simple question. How long is the information that I send out to people? If it's more than one page, you might have a problem, right? It's got to be really simple and explanatory. You might customize it each time you send it out to somebody. I do that as well. Guys, that's the question you've got to ask. Is what I send out to people more than one page? Even if you have beautiful products and brochures and pictures, maybe have another page with pictures and stuff at the back. That's fine. Or a link to products and brochures and pictures and stuff that they can look at, right? But you've got to keep it really simple. I'm going to tell you something interesting, guys. I've never done a proposal, ever. I've only sent emails that are 5 or 6 paragraphs long, and out of that got 5,000, 10,000 pound deals, value deals, sometimes 15,000 pound value deals per year. If you're looking for big ticket items, it's different. You've got to go through an approval process. But here's the thing, guys. You don't send them out unless you're at least 90% sure that you've got the deal. If somebody says, give me a proposal, right, just off the bat to try and get rid of you, say no. I know it sounds crazy. Look for an excuse to try and get another meeting with them, or say, I want to send you a proposal, but I need to get in front of you for an hour first. I need an hour or two of your time, and start negotiating with them that way. Do you see what you're doing? You're only sending out, I send out a few paragraphs, probably have about an 80 to 90% closure rate on that, simply because I've done the hard work up front. They know the pricing verbally. They know what they're in for. It's done. They've either looked at it behind the scenes. We've had a conversation and the deal's already done. It becomes a formality. This is how you sell gracefully. See what's happening, guys? I'm going to go to Q&A. I'll stop the recording in a second. And I want to just mention one final thing. From start to finish, this process is beautifully comfortable. It's unobtrusive. It's gentle. It builds your credibility. It takes a while, but it can really work nicely. But that sales conversion gap that I talked about is not going to fill itself. You have to be proactive. There is always going to be a level of discomfort. It's not beautifully comfortable from start to finish. It's beautifully comfortable for 70 to 80% of the time. And it's beautifully comfortable for 80 to the 100% of the time, right? Because that's the bit you love. You love those conversations with people. There's a gap in the middle. And that's what we talked about in those previous sessions. That discomfort of maybe having to get on the phone, the discomfort of having to be diligent, the discomfort of having to build your pipeline and measure it and do your tags and do your follow-ups. I hate it. I'm revealing this to you now. I hate it. I don't enjoy it. I'm not a diligent person. That makes me by inherently a bad salesperson. I do it when I really need to. I like the first 70% and I like the 80% to 100%. I love that stuff. I hate that bit in the middle. I hate that gap. If you can learn, guys, to do that gap, your business will change. And I'm giving you the stuff at the beginning. I'm giving you the stuff at the end. I'm giving you LinkedIn. I'm giving you captivating one-liners. I'm giving you tools. I'm giving you everything to measure it. From now on, it's going to be up to you. It really is. Next week, we're going to talk about LinkedIn voice messages. Handle with care, but very, very powerful. I'm going to stop recording now. Then we'll go to Q&A. Awesome again, guys. Love you all. And I'll see you next week. I'm going to do a little supplementary one here because Gladys is a podiatrist, which I have just learned, embarrassingly, that I didn't know this, is a foot specialist. Gladys specializes in helping workers with feet problems because they're standing up all the time. So she's wondering, how can this process work for her? Now, if you've done my course, you should be going, cool, I know this one. So Gladys, first of all, you need to know who you're going to target. And you're probably going to target people who are, instead of the workers specifically, they're general managers, factory workers, of general managers within factories, or HR within manufacturing and factories. They are easy to find on LinkedIn. Easy. Gladys, I bet you need one company a month to let you go into talk to their workers and do sessions with them in order to be relatively wealthy and have an amazing business. You don't have to reply. I'm just taking a guess. Maybe more, maybe less, right? You do not need big numbers. So you go onto LinkedIn and you find them and you have a captivating one-liner, which talks about the pain of the audience. Your audience is probably going to be, as I mentioned, HR managers, general managers, etc. One of the pain, it might not be this one I'm going to tell you now, but as an example, Gladys, an example would be losing time due to illness, losing productivity, and possible even lawsuits later. That could tell. Gladys, did you want to jump in? Sorry, Gladys, I can't hear you. I can't hear you there, Gladys.
Let me see. Can you hear me now? Am I audible?
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes, I can hear you
now.
Can you hear
me? Okay, great. The greatest pain is absenteeism.
Yes.
And the greatest frustration is they don't know where the line cuts between health and safety. As an employer, they've provided the employee with safety apparel. So everything should be good to go. But now these people who stand 8-hour shifts, 12-hour shifts have foot problems.
There you go.
Like you, they've never heard of the podiatrist.
Yep.
So they don't know where their helps come from.
Oh, Gladys, you can do this. You really can. You've already given about 3 captivating one-liners right there in that recording. You guys know that? Do the rest of you guys notice that? I'm going to go onto gallery so you guys can all see. Do you guys notice that? She's already given pain points. She said the biggest thing that they don't like is absenteeism, and they don't know where the line between health and safety is. So HR managers, Your problem is you don't know where the line between health and safety and what was the other one? Health and safety and absenteeism come into place. We're starting to come up with a captivating one-liner. Your captivating one-liner is going to be about absenteeism, not about feet yet. All right. Then when you write your article, you're going to write about absenteeism, right, within factory workers. Remember, specifically factory workers. Make sure that you use the words factory workers or factory operators or HR within factories or general managers of factories. You must use that. And you tell them what their pain is. You take the captivating one-liner, you write a nice couple of paragraphs, you can get some statistics online about absenteeism, and then you talk about this is the problem, and this is something you guys didn't know, that the workers have issues with feet problems, and resting their feet is actually causing other issues. And that's what you write about. And then you start to have a conversation with HR managers around those pain points. And you start reaching them out to LinkedIn and you follow the process. So you don't go out there, Gladys, right, with, I'm a foot doctor. I'm the greatest foot doctor in the world. Let me come and look at all the feet of your employees. You don't do that. You talk about their pain, right? And you gently nurture them. Then, Gladys, what did you learn today? I don't mean to sound condescending, but this is my area of specialty. So I'm a teller, not an asker.
Yes, yes.
So I'm telling you what you learned today was that box, the egg. What is your box, Gladys? What is that egg? That simple thing. Is it a half-day workshop? Do you come in? Do you charge? What is that easy thing that a company can go, yes, Gladys, come, I'm paying you this much?
They always have employee wellness days. I could easily ask them to put me through without payment for a 20-minute presentation when they have an employee wellness day.
There we go. So now you've got an egg. It's debatable whether you want to charge for that 20 minutes, but if you're confident that you can get business from it, then that's fine. Go and do it for free. No problem, Gladys. That's your decision. Brilliant. So what you do is you don't mention the wellness day at all in your article, not in your captivating one-liner. What you do is you send it out to those HR managers, general managers of factories, whoever they are, right? The bosses. And you say to them, right? Once they've clicked and they've read your article, and then you say to them, your professional insight message, this is what your workers are suffering from. This is an issue. When there's a bit of a conversation coming up, then you go in for the kill. Excuse me, that's a terrible word to use. Then you go in and you say, right, let me just come in and talk for 20 minutes at your next wellness day. Here's a one-pager document that explains it. That's your egg.
Scott,
easy.
Can I just ask you one question before I let you go, or before
Sure.
you let me go? My LinkedIn profile, I've just changed my, is it message? I've put it on as your trusted and skilled foot and ankle specialist. And my mission is to keep you, to help you perform, to help you function at peak performance without pain.
Absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine. If you want to diversify and talk about for factories specifically and maybe make it slightly, most of the wording is great, tweak it slightly to help workers who are tired off their feet and what a difference it can make, then go for it, Gladys. But then you can do that. But otherwise it's fine. Remember guys, as long as your LinkedIn profile has a nice photograph and it's credible, you're a podiatrist, you carry credibility anyway, because you've done the training. You're lucky. Most people don't have these kind of degrees and things like that. So you have that already, Gladys. Your deals are going to be made through direct messenger, one-on-one, like I've showed you. That's where your deals are going to come from.